So this is just a random video. Um, I sort of kind of picked a topic. I've asked a couple of guys this question to get their feedback so that I can share with you guys. And I asked them a question that we hear all the time and we want to know the real answer to. I don't know if we'll ever get the real answer to it, but now this is what they're saying. I've asked them, why is it that men who are in relationships love to cheat? And so a lot of the responses I've been getting is because they quote, because we are men and that's what men do. And so, I've been going back and forth with them about how it's not safe and how you're hurting the other person and what if the other person was to do that to you and stuff like that. And basically they're telling me that it's okay for a guy to cheat, but it's not okay for a girl to cheat. If a girl cheats, that makes her a hoe. If a guy cheats, that makes him experimenting and, just stupid stuff like that. And in a guy's own world, they seem to get along with it and they seem to understand it, but women don't. I as a woman want to believe that, maybe there's something that us women don't understand as there's a certain, the same way as there's something that men don't understand about us when we have periods and when we carry babies and so forth and when we lactate and stuff like that. There's just a barrier between that we cannot comprehend with the other. So maybe I wouldn't say I agree, but if I had to level with them, I would say that's what it is as far as, leveling with the male side, but I wouldn't agree with what they're doing. However, what they are doing, you have to be mature enough to be able to understand and accept, or not even accept, to be able to deal with it. There are certain women, if you cheat or even just look at another girl wrong or stare at her too long or make a certain gesture that might indicate that you're flirting with her, your girl might bash you in the mouth. She might just straight up bash you in the face. So, you have to be mature to not do that in public with your male spouse. There's some women who just don't give a fuck. They'll just punch you right there in the center in the mall, in the street, wherever you're at. And then there are other women who will recognize the situation and take it, in the bedroom. You don't let all your business out. You control certain stuff, certain places. When you get home, you check that nigga. You let him know, that was disrespectful. I'm not going to disrespect you in public, so why would you, So you let him know. But you give him a warning for the first time. But the second time, ladies, hey, you are more than welcome to punch him or what, not punch him, but, snatch him or something, or whatnot. I do believe women can go to jail for hitting a man in public, especially if there's witnesses. So, yeah. But, the whole, I do not want women to think that I am taking a guy's side. I'm not taking a guy's side. I'm just trying to understand it because sometimes you can't get over something, you can't get past something until you understand why it's done or why the situation is so. A lot of times I believe that guys cannot help but act a certain way because that's just what they know, and it may, because and sometimes when a guy has reached the age of 30, 40, or 50 and they're still doing that, I mean, certain things like that, it doesn't just snap in a second and he can change. No, it may take training, you know. He may want to change and it may take training. And it's peer pressure and all that stuff he has to deal with. So, and you know, a guy's ego is very huge, so he won't just switch automatically. Work with him, give him chances and stuff like that. Understand that he is trying if he does want to change from cheating or flirting or whatnot. But hey, that's how it is. Um, but for women, I understand where you're coming from because I'm the same way. I know as much as it hurts that for my man to look the other way, I sometimes have to feel insecure, even if I know that I have everything he wants. There's still a part of us that's like, I want to make him satisfied with me. You can't completely know, even if a guy gives you his word, you can't completely know. So there will always be this part of you that will wonder, I wonder if, you know, he's satisfied with me, if he needs anything else out of the relationship, if he's looking for anything more, does he want to experience new things, and you know, if I'm able to put up with it, if I'm able to deal with it, if I'm able to give him that. So therefore, we will always constantly wonder about the happiness in the relationship to the other spouse. So I understand completely where you're coming from, what it is, and I don't quite understand. I understand to an extent on the male side, but once again, it's like you have to be a man to understand what you're dealing with and going through. Because, like they say, a guy's sex drive is 10 times a woman's. So, you know, anything is legs, hey, they'll holler. So, but this is just a little random video that I was discussing with some guys today, and that's what they were giving me. And they really wasn't trying to be negative, like saying, well, you know, that's just how we do it. No, it's not that. They were just saying it's basically almost putting it in a sense like we were born this way. Well, they were born this way, but not technically. That's the vibe that I was getting out of it, but more like trying to say ever since they got an understanding of themselves, they thought that this is how it was supposed to be, but not, you know, so stay in your genes. But I understand to some extent where they're coming from. And if you would just, you know, listen to a guy without judging him, maybe you just can understand to some extent like me how that guy feels. But that's just my take on that subject, why I think men cheat or why men think they cheat. So you guys let me know and rate, subscribe, and comment, add as a friend. All that works. Bye.